Hello, everyone, and thank you for your interest in the University of Buffalo MD MBA collaborative degree option, where you can maximize your medical education investment with an MBA. The School of Management, as well as the Jacobs School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, offers an amazing 5-year program leading to both an MD as well as an MBA. My name is Rebecca Mueller, and I am the Assistant Director of Recruitment for the University of Buffalo School of Management. I encourage all students to follow our LinkedIn page to stay up to date on all of our programs. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. The quickest way is by email, but I've also indicated my phone number as well. So you can utilize the information on this page to reach out to me anytime if you have questions, concerns, or if you're looking for admissions-related advice. So let's dive into a little bit about the program itself. So while healthcare is all about quality patient care, it is also a business. And when the business of medicine is better, patient outcomes are also better. Not to mention that adding an MBA to your MD really enables you to really focus on that development of healthcare management leadership, help to strengthen academic, clinical, and business partnerships, gives you that universal benefit, such as being a recruiting asset to attract high-value residents and fellows, transformational career impact for the resident, as well as the opportunity to address and solve key healthcare management challenges, as well as the fact that there is flexibility in how you go about getting your MBA with your MD. So talking about the 3 different ways that you can get your MBA along with your MD, so there's 3. So the main one that we're going to be focusing on today is that collaborative MD MBA program. So students apply during their M3 year, and if you're admitted, you take MBA core courses as a full-time student during your 4th year, and then you round out your electives after year 4. So as I mentioned earlier, this collaborative program reduces by 1 full year the usual 4-year MD program and 2-year MBA program. Now, as an MD MBA, you must meet the degree requirements of each program. Apply to the MBA program during your 3rd year of medical school, and then the following fall, again, you will enroll and take MBA core courses. And then again, that final year, you're concurrently taking your 4th year of medical school, as well as remaining MBA electives and capstone for that total of 5 years. Now, there's another option. If you are a medical resident, you have the option to complete the resident full-time MBA program or the online MBA program. So if you're looking to participate in the resident MBA program, you actually need to have completed your 1st year of residency and must be able to complete the MBA coursework before completion of your last year of residency. So there's a couple different ways that you can go about that. If you fall into that category, please reach out to me and I'd be happy to give you more information. The fully online program is something that you'll have to focus on after you receive your complete MD. So that's something that you would do while working full-time. Again, if you have questions about the online program, please feel free to reach out to me. But we're really going to be focusing on that MD MBA today. So we actually have a current MD MBA student. So I'm going to have Matthew introduce himself before I ask him just a couple of questions about his experience so far.
Hi, everybody. My name is Matthew Zahn. I'm a current back at 4th year of medical school, but I just took the year off to do the first 2/3 of the MBA. And I had a great experience so far, so I'm happy to be here to talk and share what I've been learning, and also in the future answer any questions anybody that's looking at this.
Excellent. So Matthew, my first question for you is, why did you choose the MD MBA?
Yeah, it's a good question. So when I was going through the first 3 years of medical school, we get great clinical training. We learn how to take care of patients. But the one thing I noticed a lot was that a lot of the decisions in healthcare were being made for business reasons, and not really having a background in business and not really understanding why. Sometimes I found it to be kind of frustrating, especially if the patient kind of took the brunt of those. So that's why I decided to get an MBA to, I guess, learn more about the types of decisions that were made and also kind of why those decisions were being made. And I thought that was particularly helpful to kind of get that perspective. So the first one was gaining that perspective. And then the second one I thought for me was leadership skills. I think as physicians, we're often put in positions of leadership, as early as residency, and then especially as an attending. And a lot of times we don't get those formal training in leadership. And So, you've experienced some attendings, obviously, in your careers. You find some to be better leaders than others. And I thought that having that formal training and learning the different types of leaders and the different types of ways you can lead a group or a team was particularly beneficial. So those are two of the main reasons that I chose to do the MD MBA.
Excellent. And what classes have you found to be the most interesting or useful?
So going to my first semester, there was a class called organizational behavior, and I found this class to be one of the best classes that I took so far in the MBA. It was well taught, but it really went through really how to be a leader. You do in-class exercises, working on teams, and you learn there's apparently 6 different ways of leadership, and there are different types of leaders. And I thought that was very helpful because you got to reflect on the first 3 years of medical school and kind of just put into your head like, oh, like this doctor was this type of leader, this doctor was that type of leader. And it really gives you a good toolbox to draw from as you come back into medical school and you get to kind of pick and choose maybe what would be a better leadership style for a certain position. So that was a really important class that I thought. Another one was communication, especially because you get to learn how to structure presentations, practice your presentation skills. And I thought that's important, especially if you're giving any sort of presentation in medical school. And if you come back into 4th year and you're doing presentations to attendings, that's a great skill to have. Other courses that I thought were helpful were the ones that were healthcare related as well. So in the first semester, I took a healthcare course called Innovation in Healthcare, and that was helpful to see. We have the clinical side, business side, and then there's the innovation side as well, where companies are coming in, like drug companies or device companies that are developing these new technologies and therapeutics, and understanding how they enter markets and how they're working in the healthcare space is really helpful. And I thought it was really interesting to learn because it adds another level of complexity, but also another area that we can have an effect as doctors. And then there was also the business of healthcare course that I took. And this is a little bit different because it goes more so into the structure of the insurance models, different business models. So you look at like outpatient medicine, you look at hospital systems. And this is just important to know. I think every doctor should probably know this information because it gives you the ability to just understand the systems that you're working in any practice setting. And then, it allows you to better advocate for patients in those settings. And those were kind of the big ones that kind of stood out in my head so far for the courses that I took.
Yeah, excellent. And you kind of mentioned a little bit about how the courses you've currently taken are kind of complementing your medical education, but can you elaborate on how you can see the MBA complementing your medical education?
Yeah, no, there's so many different ways that, I won't be able to touch on. But there's the leadership skills, but I think no matter what specialty you end up going into, having an idea of business is going to be really helpful. And even no matter what setting you're in, so whether you choose to be employed in a hospital or you want to do outpatient private practice, or anything in between, understanding the business of medicine is important because a lot of decisions are made for business reasons, unfortunately. And I think understanding that, at least in my perspective, the way I was seeing it was a lot of times I saw doctors being burned out, and it was more so from like administrative stuff, not so much like patient care, because we all go into medicine to provide care for patients. So I thought that gaining the knowledge that goes into those decisions would help me in the long term to avoid burnout. And then also there is other career opportunities as well that the MBA can help you with too. So if you're interested in like leadership, whether that's like a CMO, CEO, or also like running a business, the MBA provides you the knowledge to get there. You may have to do some additional learning on the job, but it also can provide you I guess, the credit. So when someone sees an MBA behind your name, they'll take you, I think, a little bit more seriously if you're pursuing leadership skills, and the ability to network as well, especially even in the Buffalo community. There's a lot of doctors who were willing to work with you, and then like knowing that you have the interest and then the MBA in your background, I think they'll take you under your wing and kind of help to guide you and do a different career path if you want to do like clinical and then leadership as well. So those are 2 big ones, but there's so many different ways that I think the MBA can really supplement your medical education.
And can you share some specific skills or knowledge that you've got so far from the MBA program that you found particularly useful in medical training?
Yeah, so the leadership skills, again, I keep touching on this, but these are super important, especially, seeing how teams are run. So, as a doctor, we're running teams with multiple different people from many different professional backgrounds and cultural backgrounds. So knowing how to utilize everybody's skill to the most effectiveness. And you learn that. So in the first semester, I would say mostly, so through the OB class, but then there's also, I think this isn't, there's a corporate champions component too, and that's really working on teams for the entire first semester. So that's been extremely helpful, especially coming back into fourth year and working with, 30 medical students and residents and kind of, figuring out where I sit on the team and then, using those skills to make myself a little more, I guess, professional and more well-known. Other skills I thought was actually really helpful for me, particularly, is I didn't come from technology as a background. So learning about technology of businesses, as well as like AI, you touch on that in a couple of courses. I thought that was really helpful, especially because of how prevalent AI is in medicine now and how more it will become in the future. So learning that is going to be important. And I thought that was helpful. It helped me just to kind of explore those different realms. And then that even opens up other alternative options in medicine and ability to kind of provide even better patient care. And those are kind of the big ones that I thought were the most beneficial. And then presentation skills, you're constantly presenting in the MBA. So that's also really important and something that's, I think, trickled over to medical school and having them more confidence in presenting patients, and just kind of being able to confidently assess, whether it's a situation or anything, and then being able to portray that to the team as a fourth year medical student. Those are kind of the big ones that stuck out to me.
So you mentioned corporate champions, which is something that is so great. And we'll touch on that a little bit later on in the presentation. Are there any other kind of valuable experiences that you found so far in either program, whether it be medical school or the MBA program, that you would like to really highlight as opportunities that folks should take advantage of?
Yeah, so this wasn't directly within the MBA, but the MBA allowed me to get to this program or this kind of opportunity. I was able to do an internship during the MBA. So I worked with a couple of local practices in the Buffalo area where I helped to establish a couple of blood pressure clinics. And the idea behind this was to not only kind of maintain some clinical knowledge, but also to learn more about the business side of medicine. So I learned a lot about the billing, the coding perspectives, and a lot of the times, there's reasons why we do have to do it, and also the insurance company collects the information, and just having the ability to do the MBA allowed me to have the time and then the knowledge to be able to pursue this opportunity. And this was probably one of the most impactful opportunities, just because, again, it went into the reasons why we have to do billing and coding, and then how you can utilize that knowledge and incorporate it into like a practice in the future, and then advocate stronger for your patients. So that was, another reason why doing the MBA is because, as this goes back to the kind of the first question, but as doctors, we need a lot of the leaders in medicine tend to have business backgrounds, and we really need physicians who have a business knowledge to be taking leadership roles. Just because we need people to advocate for patients, and we need people to understand both realms, because when you just have, a business degree, you don't necessarily take into account the patient's views and their perspectives. And as doctors, that's what we really bring to the table. And we really need to be the ones that are going to step up and do that for patients, because otherwise, nobody else is going to take the time to do it. And all these internships and opportunities have allowed me to feel more confident in doing that. So that's kind of the valuable experiences that I felt have been in the program.
This has been so beneficial. My final question for you is, what advice would you give to someone who's considering doing the MD MBA program?
Yeah, so I think it's great to consider it. So before going ahead, I definitely would reach out to either me, my contact information in the slide there, Dr. Pugh, or other students that have gone through it. I think it's helpful just to talk through the decision, and then whether or not it's going to fulfill any sort of the ideas that you're expecting to get out of it. I think that's one of the first step you should take, to talk to somebody first, just to make sure it's going to align with your career goals. And then also just to talk with us about any classes that we took too that you might think would be helpful. I think that would be the first step if you're considering it. You could always, and of course, you can reach out to the MBA program too, and they can connect you with any staff or alumni, and even getting like a sample schedule to look through those classes, and maybe going online to the UB course and reading through the courses that you'd be taking. I think those would be some good initial steps. And then, like I said, reaching out for any advice or mentorship in regards to that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Matthew, for taking some time out to share about your experience, to share your email with prospective students. We will definitely direct folks your way if they come through the MBA admissions office and looking to talk to a current student. So thank you so much. And we're going to kind of touch on some things that Matthew referred to in his responses, like the curriculum, the action learning opportunities. So we're going to go into more detail with that now.
Thank you. And if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to the curriculum. So with the UB MBA, you're going to be working smarter, rise faster, pursue your passion, be able to chart a new path, and really challenge yourself to achieve your fullest potential, all while positively impacting the world and being rewarded financially. So with the core program, we are aiming to maximize your return on investment with foundation building core courses and career targeted electives. And the UB MBA will consist of a lot of great courses that Matthew had touched on in his responses. So our curriculum really provides you with the skills that you need for success. So you'll become a member of a diverse cohort as well as a small team to strengthen your communication, critical thinking, as well as leadership skills. And our robust core curriculum really prepares you to lead in today's constantly changing business environment. You can go onto our website and view the MBA curriculum planner for more details, but this gives you a whole idea as to exactly what that first year is going to look like for you. Now, you can also integrate some concentrations into your electives if you would like to. It's important to note that some students will select one concentration, others will choose two, and some do not declare a concentration at all, instead choosing to take classes from various areas. Now, when it comes to action learning, there's a bunch of different opportunities that you can take advantage of. Employers are consistently describing a need for strong critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And foundational technical skills may be important, but a candidate's ability to attack a problem with creativity, insight, and curiosity is what makes them stand out. And that's why in the MBA program, we really emphasize the experiential approach to learning so that you can apply that theory and learn by doing. So there's a number of different opportunities to take advantage of. The first one's actually MBA Advantage. This begins at orientation. So before you even set foot in the classroom, you'll be getting involved in that group work, getting involved in building strong bonds with your cohort and teams, and be able to experience the community and become familiar with the program and the opportunities that we offer. Now, Matthew specifically recommended the Corporate Champions program. UB's MBAs can experience this program only. It's something that is an opportunity for you that begins in your first semester of the core program. And it's an extensive and powerful program that provides you with a practical opportunity to immediately apply your knowledge, positively impacting actual companies and the community ecosystem. Corporate champions participate in multiple touch points with you and your team throughout that full core year of your MBA experience. So you're going to be able to benefit from the insights, learning lab environment, and access to senior leadership provided by the Corporate Champions program from this network of involved companies. Then there's also MBA Leader Corps, and this has been recognized by the MBA Roundtable for advancing innovation in MBA education. This is a selective personal and professional development journey that runs concurrently with your time in the MBA program. So throughout the process, we focus on the real world and you with an emphasis on developing the skills employers have identified as critical for future leaders. There's also an opportunity to participate in what's called the Code Lab. This is a campus-based entrepreneurship and innovation center that empowers students to realize solutions for the global and local challenges of our time. It's part startup incubator and part idea sharing center that connects students to mentors, events, funding, and experiences that cultivate the skills and mindset to build successful companies or innovate competitively in careers within any organization. You can also amplify your skills while making a real impact. As a paid student assistant in our projects clinic, you'll dive into hands-on real-world projects alongside our community partners. These are multiple short-term projects throughout the semester that can offer you a dynamic experience working with diverse organizations. Now, there's also global programs, which is through our faculty-led short-term global programs. You will prepare to lead in today's business world and develop both the global and diversity mindset you need to succeed in any industry. You'll be able to meet new people, visit businesses and cultural sites, and showcase your experience to potential employers. Best of all, thanks to the hybrid nature of our programs, you can participate from anywhere in the world. And all of our global and US experiences include both a credit-bearing virtual program as well as optional travel to the program's destination. In addition to the School of Management's graduate organizations, you also have an opportunity to explore and join university-connected groups through the Student Association. Now, when it comes to career preparation, our comprehensive career resources offers personalized coaching, industry connections, and tools to help you navigate your career path from day one. So you can help benefit from our robust employer network, career fairs, and resume interview workshops designed to help you land your dream job. So our Career Resource Center is engaged and committed to your success by providing you an action checklist that they will be working with you to help you to develop your career strategy, your personal brand, and hone the tools that you'll need for an effective job search and rewarding career. The Career Resource Center also offers individualized coaching and career resources to help you to define and achieve your goals. So we really encourage you to participate in their programs to make the most of your UB experience. You can learn about today's job market, as well as develop the competencies for winning interviews. You can also take advantage of BizLink. This is the online career management system brought to you by the Career Resource Center for the exclusive use of the School of Management students. You'll also have access to virtual power chats, and power chats allow you to connect with alumni and business leaders, as well as ask your questions, hear about their career path, current work, and receive career advice from experienced professionals. Now that we've gone over the program details, we talked a little bit about the career resources, the ways you can get involved. Let's dive into the admissions process itself. Our team is here to help support you throughout your admissions journey. So if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out. We are here to help you. So when it comes to the application, you're going to see that there's a bunch of different deadlines here. So applications for fall 2025 are currently open. So you can apply anytime between now and June 1st if you are a US citizen, or if you're already in the US on an F1 visa. I do encourage you to apply sooner rather than later, especially calling out the January 15th deadline, which is the priority deadline for scholarship consideration. So we do give out scholarships, but they are merit-based only. So you want to get your application in sooner so that you can be considered for those opportunities. Now, when it comes to the application itself, you're going to want to complete and submit your online application. And this is going to be serving as your dashboard for all of your other application pieces. It's going to be where you can view your checklist, upload your documents, and ultimately be able to view your admissions decision. Our admissions committee does review applications holistically as well. There's also a $100 application fee, and unfortunately, we do not offer waivers of graduate application fees. There are some categorical exceptions made by the university, so if you feel you fall into one of those categories, please feel free to let me know. But typically this falls into if you were an undergraduate student in an EOP, HEOP, or SEEK program, if you were an undergraduate participant in CSTEP, MARC, PrEP, RISE, LSAMP, or McNair, if you were an applicant through Project 1000 or AmeriCorps, if you're an applicant with a U.S. military or veteran status, or if you're an applicant who is a spouse of a U.S. veteran. So if you fall into one of those categories, please let me know and I can walk you through what that process looks like. When it comes to your transcripts, you must upload transcripts for each college or university that you list in your application. So transcripts for all undergraduate credits, including transfer credits, earned towards your undergraduate degree, must be uploaded for admissions consideration. It's important to note as well that for the University at Buffalo, you do need to still pull your unofficial transcript and upload that, as well as upload your AAR as well. When it comes to the resume, your resume length should be approximately 1 page for every 10 years of work experience. Make sure that you're including relevant education and work experience, as well as the months and years of employment. The Career Resource Center has a fantastic resume preparation tool on their website if you would like to take a look and see what some of those sample resumes look like. When it comes to personal statements, there are going to be 2 that we ask for you to complete. The first one will be including your reasons for pursuing the MBA degree and your career aspirations. This is a really great opportunity to explain why the MD MBA program is going to be what it is that you want to pursue and why you want to do that. Then there will be a topical response. We give you a choice of 3 different questions to answer, and you pick the one that you wish to answer. We do encourage you to keep the document length approximately 700 words per essay that you're writing. And then finally, when it comes to the GMAT or GRE, we are test optional. You're welcome to upload those scores with your application, but they are not required. For those of you who may be international applicants, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I would be happy to walk you through what that process looks like for you. We can talk about the eligibility, English language proficiency requirements, financial documentation, WES and ACE evaluation. So feel free to reach out to me if you fall into this category. Now, when it comes to tuition and fees, the MBA program offers a tremendous value in today's graduate management program marketplace. When you invest in your education, you are investing in your future, and it's really hard to find a better value than UB, New York's flagship, in addition to the fact that it's an MD MBA program where you're cutting down the cost of the 2 programs together and really getting a phenomenal dual degree in just 5 years. We have a low cost of living. There are graduate assistantship opportunities and career support available to you before your first day of classes, all the way through graduation and beyond. Now, as previously discussed, one of the benefits of the MD MBA program is that both programs share credits. And I've noted that MBA core year tuition and fee information above. So again, this is just going to be for that core year that you have with us. So whether you're an in-state resident or a non-state resident, it kind of gives you an idea of what your cost would be for that year that you're doing the core. For that final year, you'll be paying the tuition for whichever program you're taking more credits from, and student accounts will be able to assist you as far as what that overall cost is going to look like for you. Now, when it comes to funding your degree, there's a couple different options for you in regards to graduate funding. In order to enhance the University of Buffalo's already competitive tuition, we do award scholarships, fellowships, and assistantships for outstanding, highly motivated students. Now, all of our awards are merit-based and may be funded for full or partial tuition, and all applicants are considered for scholarships that fall under the School of Management umbrella during the admissions process. So there's no additional application for scholarship consideration. Now, incoming and current MBAs may seek out graduate student, teaching, and research assistantships. Each is offered during every semester in a competitive process to a select number of qualified full-time students. Now, students assist with school or university administration, teach or undertake research with faculty members. And although responsibilities vary by assignment, assistants generally work 20 hours per week. And graduate and teaching assistants receive a stipend plus a tuition scholarship. So if you're accepted, you would gain access to our online portals that allow you to explore and apply for assistantships campus-wide. It's important to note that assistantships are not awarded through the admissions process. In addition, you may be eligible for a scholarship through other UB-connected resources, and there are numerous other university, national, and international level awards available for qualified graduate students. So I encourage you to visit our Funding Your Degree webpage and the graduate school's website for more information. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, my email is here, as well as my LinkedIn and my phone number. And just as Matthew had mentioned, one of the best ways to really hear about the program is to hear about it from people who have gone through it themselves. So please feel free to reach out to Matthew with any questions you have about being a current student. If you want to be in touch with other students that have been through the program, please let me know, and I would be happy to get you in contact with those folks. So in conclusion, I really do encourage you to follow the link associated with the QR code here to continue on that conversation by taking advantage of some other recruiting events. You can book a one-on-one admissions advising appointment with me, listen to our manageable podcast, access our digital library, engage with us on social media, and so much more. I strongly encourage you to reach out to our current students via Unibuddy or by attending one of their online office hours to hear the student perspective, or again, feel free to reach out if you want to talk to a specific MD MBA current student or alumni. I'm so glad that you are considering the UB MD MBA collaborative degree program. And again, if you've got any questions in regard to the residency MBA or the online MBA program, I'm happy to explain those to you in further detail as well. I look forward to having future conversations with you all. Thank you so much for viewing this program overview, and have a great rest of your day.